Hi leaders. Hey, Mike Temple back with you again. And you've heard me mention December is really one of the more exciting months of the year for me. And it's not just because of the holidays, very, very grateful for it. However, one of the reasons I'm extremely excited about the month of December is that, like I've said before, this is a time of year when working with my clients that we are reviewing last year's strategy. How have we performed all the way up to this moment? Okay, ending it up in December. I'm happy to report that we have basically, all of my clients, we basically hit majority, I'd say about maybe 90% of our goals were accomplished. Some we really had to push on. All right. Now we're preparing for 2019 and going into every year, and with really every leader that I talk with, there's something that I do have to address with them before we really kind of launch. And that is, we take a self-assessment, we take an assessment of our business. Where does the business, where is it currently at? What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? And I ask every leader, let's take an assessment of you, the leader, where you are at. And this particular leader is approaching some very serious burnout. And I'll tell you what we did to kind of, go through a process to figure where's the problem and what can we do. All right. One of the things that I've noticed with burnout, there are some things you can do to fix it, okay? And number one, you've got a boring carrot. In other words, the same goal that you are trying to achieve year in and year out is no longer exciting to you, most importantly, the leader. And if you're not excited about it, neither is anyone else. I've got quite a few leaders, whether you own the business or you're a hired CEO, president, or you're in charge of a profit center. Sometimes you hit your ultimate goal that you wanted maybe 2 or 3 years ago and you don't realize it. And there's some things you got to do to get out of this rut, but the carrot is boring. It's the same, and I'm not saying it's the same, but you want to increase revenue. We want to increase production. We want to watch costs. We want to cut costs by X%. We want to increase revenue by X%. And everyone's tired, and you're tired of it as well. Instead of, what new markets can we penetrate? What products, where are we in product development? What products are we bringing to our market? When are we going to launch those products? What have we done to research, something new and exciting that we're going to be doing something different that we haven't done before? It's looking, is this the right carrot anymore for you, or are you tired and bored of it? Number 2, delegation. You've got to delegate some tasks that you've been doing, but you don't just delegate for the heck of delegating it. We got to delegate the right tasks to the right people, okay? So you've got to take a look. What are some things that you've been doing for maybe repetitive for the last 3 years, for the last 5 years? If you're doing the same thing over and over and you haven't relinquished some tasks, you've capped yourself. Yeah, you can no longer grow as a leader or the owner of the business, especially if you're the owner of the business. Organization cannot grow until you start letting go of some things, delegating some tasks to the right people. You have to elevate people to their unique, strengths of what they can do. I bet you there are a couple of people in your organization right now that would love to do some of the things that you, the leader, are doing. You just need to let go of them. And once you let go, you'll notice some of that burnout decrease. Your growth will start to expand. Exercise. Exercise, leaders. Yes. Hey, look, come on. You've got to get up and move. Our bodies were made for moving, baby. The body was made for moving. All right. Look, I know I said it. Exercise. Our bodies were made for movement. I myself, I like to go to the gym. I like to lift some weights. I like to do a little bit of cardio, the bike, this sort of thing. I get it. I know. I don't look like I do it. Maybe that'll be a goal one of these years to make it look like I do go. However, you got to get the blood pumping. You got to fill your air, your lungs up with air. Just do something different. Move your limbs, your muscles. I've got a neighbor at home, and he, whether come rain or shine, regardless of the season, and it's winter now, and he's out walking around the block. And, he'll do this for like maybe 30 or 40 minutes. He puts on a pair of jeans, nothing fancy here, okay? He puts on a pair of jeans, he puts on his sweatshirt, and he's either wearing his University of Michigan shirt or his Michigan State or his Central Michigan baseball cap, one of those, but he's got some of the coolest sneakers on the market. And he's out there walking, and for the purposes intended, that's exercise. You've heard it over and over, leaders. Take the stairs, okay? Even get out and walk around the parking lot of the building where you're at, but you've got to get up and move. Look, you can't keep going the way you're going, maintaining all of this stress on you, and expect to live a healthy lifestyle without getting burnt out. Look, I know you guys, okay? I work with you. You're in charge of the strategy. You're in charge of plotting the vision. You're in charge of the growth of revenue. You're in charge of the culture. Yes, we can delegate these things, but you're in charge of, the exploration of new markets. All of these things you're accountable for. The buck stops with you. I know sometimes at the end of work, you jump in your car, your truck, you go home, and those things follow you home, right? Okay, you're with your family, but you're not with your family. What are you doing? You're constantly, you got this in front of you, and you're out at, whatever favorite restaurant, the family's trying to talk, yeah, okay. You're not there, all right? Tell me if this has ever happened to you. You have a hard time falling asleep because you got a lot of these things on your mind. When you finally fall asleep, in the middle of your sleep, the problem wakes you up. Hey, Mike, are you awake? For a minute there, I thought you fell asleep and you forgot all about me. Now look, let me start rotating in your mind, and it carries you, and you carry it to work. It's burning you. You can solve a lot of these things with just some simple exercise. Start off small, build as large as you want to go. If you want to go for a six-pack, go for a six-pack, okay? If you want to run a triathlon, run a triathlon. But if you want, like my neighbor, walk around the block, walk with your spouse, walk together. Don't talk about the business. Talk about something else completely different. Fill the air, the lungs up with air. You get the point. You've got to get out there and exercise, okay? Usually, I have found that these are the top 3 things that work, all right, to help relieve the burnout. The bottom one is one that I've had to address here lately. That is, if you've gone through these things, you have to recognize, is it time to exit the business? Absolutely nothing wrong with this, leaders. Look, everyone knows if you're the owner of the business, at some point in time, you're no longer going to be there. They know it. It's okay. It doesn't, you have brought the organization to where it is. You have some phenomenal accomplishments that you should be proud of. And one of the things that you've got to recognize is it time to exit? Have I taken the organization as far as I can? And quite honestly, as far as I want to. And that's okay. We just need to get together, decide on a plan. And that's what we did in this last strategy session. Why this one kind of ran a little bit longer. And I wanted to get this out to you as soon as I could while it was on the top of my mind, because this is something I put all of my leaders through. Are you burning out? Do you have the energy to keep going and moving forward? And this is something we're dealing with now. This particular leader, it's time for him to exit the organization. He knows it. He's the founder of the business. And it's time for him to start putting things in his leadership team's hand. And we're covering this right now. And when we acknowledge this, spent a good deal of time, he and I working together on this, you could just see the weight come off of his shoulders once he finally recognized, yeah, Mike, it's time for me to start, not, stop living life, but it's time for me, we talked about this, it's time for me to move to new endeavors, new things that I want to accomplish in my life and get rejuvenated about. Anyhow, leaders, hey, I'd love to hear your comments. What are some of the things that you do to address leadership burnout? Hey guys, I want to thank you so much again for for listening. I'm Mike Temple. Look forward to hearing your comments. Thank you.